Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we dissect the grand illusions of history, not with blind reverence, but with the sharp eye of skepticism. Today we turn our gaze to a figure who dared to crack open the vaults of forbidden knowledge, Manly Palmer Hall. Hailed by some as the Hermes Trismegistus of the 20th century, Hall was no mere scholar. He was a provocateur, a self-appointed thief in the night of secret societies, pilfering their guarded tomes and scattering the spoils for the masses. Imagine a world where ancient wisdom isn't hoarded by cloaked elites in smoke-filled lodges, but broadcast like contraband radio signals. That's Hall's legacy, a tantalizing blend of enlightenment and enigma, laced with the bitter aftertaste of human greed and conspiracy. Born in 1901 amid the fog of Victorian occult fever, Hall's life reads like a cipher. Riddles wrapped in ritual, controversies coiled around conspiracies. At 22, he exposed Masonic arcana that left 33rd degree initiates sputtering in their aprons. By 27, he'd woven the frayed threads of global mysticism into a tapestry so vast, it mocked the silos of organized religion. Yet his end? A murky tableau of theft and suspicion, echoing the fates of Tesla and other inconvenient geniuses whose minds outpaced the machines of power. Join me for the next 12 minutes as we peel back the layers, not to worship the man, but to question the shadows he cast. Because in the game of hidden truths, the real secret is who wins when the lights come on. Let us begin at the unassuming cradle of this intellectual insurgent. On March 18, 1901, in the sleepy Canadian hamlet of Peterborough, Ontario, Manly Palmer Hall entered existence under circumstances as opaque as the Hermetic texts he would later champion. His mother, the resolute Louise Palmer Hall, reared him solo, a single parent in an era when such arrangements invited whispers of scandal. The father's identity? A void, a deliberate blank in the ledger of history, one Hall guarded like a Rosicrucian relic until his dying breath. Cynics might smirk. In a lineage tied to esoteric bloodlines, what better origin story than illegitimacy, hinting at forbidden unions or shadowed paternities? By 1904, at the tender age of 3, mother and son decamped to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where Louise wed Arthur Whitney Hall, a dentist whose mundane profession belied rumors of tangential ties to occult undercurrents. Adopted formally, young Manly plunged into a self-forged education that public schools could scarcely contain. Libraries became his true academies, gobbling philosophies and faiths with the veracity of a starved alchemist, transmuting leaden textbooks into golden insight. By 15, his mind brimmed with more arcane lore than the dusty shelves of Oxford's forbidden stacks. Formal degrees? Mere paper fetishes for the credentialed masses. Hall embodied the perennial irony. True wisdom scorns the gatekeepers, thriving instead in the wilds of unfiltered curiosity. Fast forward to 1919. At 18, Hall alights in Los Angeles, that sun-baked crucible of American mysticism during the Roaring Twenties. Here, the Theosophical Society's spires pierced the smog from Point Loma. Rosicrucian factions vied like rival cults in a pulp novel, and spiritualism's seances crackled with the static of the afterlife. Wall Street drudgery paid the bills, but Hall's soul feasted on esoteric emporia, bookshops hawking grimoires, libraries harboring the ghosts of Atlantis. Legend whispers of a shadowy antiquarian unlocking private vaults of rarities for the prodigy. Verifiable or vapor, it fueled a knowledge so encyclopedic, it bordered on the supernatural. By 1920, at 19, he mounts podiums in dingy halls discoursing on Platonic ideals and alchemical elixirs with the gravitas of a Delphic oracle. Eyewitnesses in yellowed clippings marveled. How does a high school dropout summon Egyptian enigmas in Vedic veils? Had he tapped the Akashic ether, that cosmic Rolodex of all-knowing? Or was it simply the audacity of youth, unburdened by academia's leaden dogma? In an age of poseurs peddling crystal gazing, Hall's authenticity was a quiet revolution. Educational, yes, but laced with the cynicism that true insight demands. Power structures abhor a boy who reads too much. But 1923 marks the detonation. At 22, Hall unleashes the lost keys of Freemasonry, a tome that ripples through lodge halls like a profane grenade. Revelations pour forth, symbols dissected, rituals decoded, arcana opaque to all but the most exalted brethren. Yet Hall, no Mason he, initiation would dawdle until 1954 when age 53 deemed him worthy. The outrage was poetic. How dares this interloper, sans regalia or rite, plumb depths forbidden to the faithful? Whispers of pilfered papyri, covert mentorships from veiled grandmasters, or even clandestine paralodges swirl like incense smoke. Hall, ever the Sphinx, offered no map to his sources. Cynical observers chuckle. Freemasonry, that bastion of fraternal secrecy, exposed by an outsider? It's the eternal jest of hierarchies. Guard your vaults too tightly, and some rogue will pick the lock with sheer intellect. Emboldened, Hall announces his audacious opus, a synthesis of all esoteric ages, pen sans passport or professorship. Skeptics scoffed. A 22-year-old autodidact untrod by the sands of Giza or the steppes of Kyoto? Preposterous. Yet by 27 in 1928, the secret teachings of all ages emerges. A colossus clocking 1,000-plus pages, 200 illustrations, and a price tag rivaling a Model T. Funded by enigmatic widows, the Lloyd sisters, occult aficionados with deep pockets, Hall toiled 18-hour days, orchestrating artists like alchemical apprentices. Printed on handmade vellum with gold dust ink, bound in Moroccan leather, each of the 550 deluxe copies tipped the scales at 15 pounds. A $100 admission fee? Highway robbery in an era of penny dreadfuls, yet collectors clamored. What elevates this from curiosity to cornerstone? Perennial philosophy. Hall's North Star. The wry notion that beneath religion's gaudy facades, be it pyramid cults or cathedral choirs, lies a singular truth. A divine spark animates us all. Existence, a quest beyond bread and circuses. Hall's masterstroke? Bridging silos. Egyptian obelisks echo Kabbalistic Sephirot. Platonic forms dance with Taoist yin-yang. Masonic Hiram Abiff mirrors Christ's passion play. Chapters cascade through antiquity's bazaars. Pharaonic rites, Hellenic mysteries, biblical cryptograms, alchemical furnaces, Rosicrucian roses, interwoven with unprecedented finesse. Revolutionary? Utterly. Hall decodes Solomon's temple beyond lodge lore, reproduces Vatican vault phantoms, alchemical engravings unseen elsewhere, and demystifies in crisp prose what pedants shrouded in jargon. Curiosities abound. Page 13's bespoke sigil, an orphan in occult iconography, acrostic chapter initials spelling Latin enigmas, chromatic codices and tree of life plates privy to inner circle shamans. Rumors of excised 49th chapter, too incendiary they say, add fuel to the fire. Prophecies slip in unwittingly, Golden Dawn esoterica predating its leaks by decades. Mysteries linger, whence the Zodiac Man's aberrant anatomies? Oral rites from oral-only orders? Ghost grimoires cited from etheric archives? Funding phantoms beyond the Lloyd's largesse? Impact? Roerich hailed a synthesis Europe envied. Regardy Crowley's scribe gasped at its archival sweep. Academics nodded grudgingly. Occultists scavenged lost lore. Masons fumed at the breach. Critics carped over footnotes' absence, fair in a field of footnotes. But Hall's sin? Democratizing the divine for an era starved of soul. Today it endures. New Age's unintended Bible, translated globally, a bulwark against forgotten faiths. Irony bites. In liberating lore from elitist grips, Hall birthed fresh veils around his own vault. Genius or conduit? The evidence mocks resolution, leaving us to ponder. In knowledge's bazaar, is revelation ever truly free, or just repackaged ransom? Success's spoils? Wanderlust. In 1929 to 30, Hall, now 28, treads the trails he'd textualized. Egypt's pyramids, vigils rumored in the Great One's heart, Palestine's holy haunts, India's ashram whispers, China's imperial echoes, Japan's Zen silences. Swamis and sensei regaled him. Tales of tantric baptisms and Buddhist bar mitzvahs circulate, unverified. Hall demurred on the dramatics, but his aura? Transfigured. Travel, that great leveler, burnished his perennial prism. Faiths as facets of one flawed gem. Humanity's hubris, the only true heresy. The 1930s bloom prolific. Lectures on Ancient Philosophy, 1929, Freemasonry of the Ancient Egyptians, 1937, and sundry tomes dissecting the occult corpus. At 33, esotericism's Christic milestone, Hall erects the Philosophical Research Society in Los Angeles, a fortress of forbidden folios. PRS, Library Leviathan, amassing America's premier occult archive. Lecture hall for lay prophets, press for perennial prose, salon for shadow scholars. Volumes arrived via veiled benefactors, anonymous crates of incunabula, as if orders owed him tithes for his trespasses. Cynicism creeps. In a century of book burnings, one man's archive mocks the inquisitors, preserving what tyrants torch. War's shadow, 1940s, tempers his torch. Lectures on America's secret destiny, a mystical manifest destiny. Sans manifest destiny's bloodlust. Perennialism deepens. Gospels Vedicized, Christ as hermetic hologram, Gita Kabbalah kinships, Tao's flow tracing life's arboreal veins. Tapes of these seminars, bootlegged among adepts, fetch fortunes today, relics of a radio age rosary. Key codices: The Secret Destiny of America, 1944, Envisioning a Republic Redeemed by Rosicrucian Roots. How to Understand Your Bible, 1943, Stripping Scripture's Scales. Self-Unfoldment, 1946, a manual for mundane mystics. Rumors ripple of Jungian missives via Swiss shadows, archetypes aligning perhaps, but proof evaporates like ether. Hall's War Wisdom, educational salve for a scarred psyche. Unity amid carnage, spirit's sovereignty over state's saber-rattling. Yet the cynic smirks, esoterica as escapism? Or blueprint for the powerful, repackaged as populism? Post-1945, Hall's harvest ripens. Over 150 volumes from The Guru, 1948, to Healing, The Divine Art, 1972, a corpus rivaling any canon. Lectures draw thousands, PRS a pilgrimage site, its halls humming with seekers dodging modernity's malaise. At 67, in 1968, he weds Marie Bauer in a rite both civil and arcane, a late-blooming union sans heirs, fueling fertile fictions of celibate sorcery. Cynics quip, in celibacy's cloister, did Hall hoard his hermetic heat, or merely sidestep dynasty's dynastic dramas? The 1970s usher twilight. Honors accrue, honorary doctorates, Masonic elevations to the Scottish Rite's pinnacle, yet shadows lengthen. Whispers of IRS inquisitions, property tussles with a stepson from Bauer's prior bond, paint Hall not as sage, but squabbling elder. Esoterica's commodification irks him. New Age hucksters hawk his heirlooms as hippie talismans. He pens rebukes, The All-Seeing Eye, 1970, skewering surveillance states through symbolic lenses. Reincarnation, The Cycle of Necessity, 1967, a karmic corrective to countercultural chaos. Educational ethos endures. PRS thrives as think tank transcendent, archiving arcana amid acid tests. Hall's cynicism sharpens. Knowledge, he laments, twisted into tools for the transnational elite. Perennial truths peddled as power plays. Influential? Undeniably. From Reagan's Rosicrucian readings to Hollywood's hermetic hints, his tendrils thread the tapestry. Yet the masses? Fed pablum per his perennial plaint. August 29, 1990. Hall departs at 89, ostensibly from old age. A bland euphemism for a life laced with intrigue. Official autopsy? Heart failure, they say. But conspiracists convulse. Arsenic traces alleged in toxicology, dismissed by coroners, amplified by alt archives. A mysterious woman at his bedside. Ransacked manuscripts post-mortem, echoing Tesla's torched trove. Step-family feuds erupt over PRS control, lawsuits slinging mud at Hall's cultish cash. Cynical verdict? In death as in doctrine, Hall unmasks the avarice. Secrets aren't slain, they're scavenged by successors, repackaged for profit. Legacy? A double-edged athame. Secret teaching sells ceaselessly, PRS persists as esoteric embassy. Hall humanized the hermetic, educating elites and everymen alike, yet his enigmas endure. Prodigy's provenance, patron phantoms, a Prometheus unbound, or pawn in perennial puppetry. The stateless standard posits, Hall reminds us knowledge's true terror lies not in its hoarders, but its hijackers, governments, guilds, gurus, all complicit in the con. If this sojourn through Hall's Hall of Mirrors stirred your inner skeptic, hit subscribe to the Stateless Standard. More unvarnished unveilings await. Like, comment your take on these timeless treacheries, and share with fellow truth thieves. Until next time, question the quorum, illuminate the illusion, fade to ether.